Hello everyone on the interwebs. My name is Kotak and today we're going to be watching a Starcraft 2 Heart of the Storm replay between our blue Terran in the upper right corner of the map playing for Team CM Storm. Hailing from South Korea, it is Polt versus our red Zerg in the bottom left corner of the map playing for Team Acer. Hailing from Poland, it is Nerchio. Now the map is indeed in Daybreak. I know it's not the ladder version of Daybreak, as it doesn't have the normal rocks. It just has the supply depots. Now since the map is Daybreak, it's actually not a new map. It's actually an old map. It actually just got removed in the latest season of Heart of the Swarm. I don't know if it was actually removed in Wings of Liberty, but it was removed in Heart of the Swarm. You have this expansion here, and in front of the expansion we have quite the vast area. Not that vast, but it's actually pretty nice. Pretty nice of an entrance here. You can defend it quite easily. If your Zerg can actually get a bit of a creep spread in front and still defend it quite nicely. Get a couple of spine crushes. Nice common area. Now this ramp, you have this ramp which leads to the middle of the map pretty much, to the attack paths, and just pretty much the main area of the map. And now Nerchio is saying GLHF Gosu, and you can take this third expansion by the way. This is pretty much the third expansion that is typically taken in a game, but it is actually quite prone to some sort of attacks because this entrance, which is quite far from the entrance of the main base, is quite far, so it's a bit tougher to defend. Usually players just try and attack from here, do a bit of damage around here through the mineral pine, actually just kill some workers or maybe even the expansion if they're lucky. And we're seeing pretty much the basic build from both players. Let's look at it from the Zerg point of view. We're seeing a 15 pool, 15 hatch. I think it was a hatchery first, so he's going a bit more economic, as it is pretty much in a normal Zerg versus Terran. He's not making the gas yet. Maybe we won't see any sort of early aggression of Zerglings or mutas. Probably not Zerglings, probably not mutalists. Well, if it's Zerglings, it's not going to be Speedwings, I can tell you that. Seeing a pretty scout from our Terran player. But looking at Polt's point of view, we're seeing that he's already has one gas at the moment. It's already expanding though, which is a bit weird. That early expand, it's quite normal maybe versus Zerg. I don't actually play Terran, but I've seen a lot of players actually do this. Seems like a safe take on economy and trying to take the economic advantage away from our Zerg player, which usually just fast expands all game. The barracks here is done, just producing marines, but now the factory is on the way. We're going to see a reactor here pretty soon. Probably, as it seems, yes it is going to be a reactor. And then these two buildings, the factory and the barracks, are going to transfer. The marines here are just trying to do some damage to the supply depot, just taking it down. Maybe he wants the space to put his own supply depot, which can lower and raise, which is actually pretty good. A bit of a Zergling aggression from Nerchio. If he could cut the marines from actually going to the bunker, that would be great. He could actually snipe those marines, but he couldn't. He didn't have speed actually to do it. Another base being made for Polt, but it's probably just going to be an expansion inside the main base, just to provide a bit more production, a bit more mules, and just a bit more production of SCVs until he actually gets saturated. And once he gets saturated, he might just lift that up into a third base. We're seeing some overlords just scouting everything for Nerchio all around the base. This third expansion already for Nerchio, our Zerg player. He's not even saturated in the expansion, nor the main, as it seems. Well, he's actually working on it. No, he's not. Okay, yes, he actually is. This creep thread, it could be ahead. This tumor could be way further ahead. Couple of Hellions already being pumped out. For Polt, he's going to get that aggression early on. I'm not sure if Nerchio is going to be able to defend. He does have the 2 queens, but I don't know if that's actually going to be enough. Polt looks like he's going to start piling them on. More Hellions are getting pumped out. Couple of depots being made here in the front line of the base. A bit odd. So looking to get that major wall off right there. Just trying to get that major area instead of in front here. Just trying to get this part, so it's kind of protected. The Hellions got this expansion, trying to do some damage. The creep thread though, it's not down there, so Nerchio cannot actually do anything to defend against those Hellions. From destroying the hatchery, of course they're gonna be able to defend it. He's already making a couple of Zerglings, a couple of Overlords. He is now making a Roach Warren a bit late, but he is actually doing it. Now the Hellion just suddenly backed off for some reason. Not even sure why, but they're gonna start moving in the front of the base. The creep tumors are getting destroyed from the splash damage of the rocks. There's actually that's a pretty nice mechanic, that splash damage with the tumors. It is quite well thought out and just weirdly nicely thought out to make the tumors take that splash damage. Everything takes that splash damage, even if they are attacking something else. If something in the way is actually in the way, well, they take damage. A couple of Widow Mines already being pumped out for Polt. Even though he has the factory here with the reactor, he's looking for a bit of a more biological mine style of build. As it appeared, already pumping out some mines, but he's getting 4 more barracks and the double engineering base. So it's definitely going to be some sort of bio. But since he has a factory, so yeah, I'm going to put my money on the bio Widow Mine. The roaches are already out for Nerchio. There's a lot of Hellions out there for Polt. It's going to be quite weird for Nerchio to actually deal with, but still he's going to deal with it pretty easily. The expansion here is looking to actually expand, but that Overlord is just spreading out that creep like a monster. He's not going to be able to expand, and it's going to be like that for a while, maybe even half a minute. And that's actually a pretty nice delay that Polt is actually making. I mean Nerchio, that delay that Nerchio has on at the moment, it is pretty nice. Will the command center actually take the splash damage? He didn't take the splash damage. That is incredible. Now the Widow Mines are out on the field and Nerchio knows it, so he's gonna use that scouting information to his advantage. Already getting the upgrades for the units. He's getting these Zergling upgrades, so it'll be some sort of a Zergling Mutalisk kind of army as well. Even though we saw some threats of Hellions and mech, Polt just realizes it's not actually mech, it's something actually else, some sort of a Widow Mine. It's not mech and it's not mass air, so it's definitely some sort of bio. The Mutalisk are already starting to do damage in the mineral line for Polt. The Marines are taking hits and there's not enough. Now there's a lot more Marines and they're being pumped out as well. He's just going mass Marine on that. 5 barracks with the reactors and a single one with Tech Lab, and that Tech Lab one is also producing Marines. Dear Lord, that's a lot of Marines. Not really any Marauders whatsoever. There's one on the map. They're gonna be useful against these roaches that are being used for harassment. That's all. A lot of Widow Mines on the field. Will they actually burrow and do some sort of splash damage? No, they will not. They just burrow around to maybe get some kills on the Mutalisk. Maybe just defend against the harassments in general. The Mutals are moving across the field, killing a Widow Mine or 2, but they burrow. And they almost got those hits on those Mutalisks, but they managed to run away. In the meantime, a lot of Zergs are being produced for Nerchio. Still no speed upgrade. Oh wait, it's researched now, just now. It stopped researching. And 3 Overseers for Nerchio. He's already thinking of the Widow Mines. Already thinking how I'm gonna detect that in the battle. So just splitting those nicely, and already fourth base already done and almost saturated for Nerchio, and a 5th one on the way as it appears. But the Mutalisk are starting to move across the map, and the block of Mutalisks. That is a ton. Actually, it's just 11, but it's still quite the amount. He realized the scorch mark that was left in the ground because of that Widow Mine. He managed to run away. Now that's a bit more of an army. A couple of Zerglings joining in the action, and they're gonna break this door, just get in. He doesn't care about an invitation, he just wants to join the party. He's not bringing anything but the Widow Mines. They're blocking the entry. He still got a couple of hits on the workers, but it was nicely defended by Nerchio. But in the meantime, the Zerglings got into the main base. They didn't do a lot of damage. The Marines cleaned that up real nice, real easily. And Polt's a bit ahead on the resources lost tab. Around 1,000 resources ahead. And comparing how much resources they've lost overall, they're pretty similar. And looking at the workers killed, 21 workers for Nerchio versus 0-0 from Polt in terms of workers killed. Nerchio did a ton of economic damage versus Polt. And a lot of Zerglings and Banelings are starting to pile up for Nerchio against that Bio Widow Mine style from Polt, but he needs to get progressing on that creep spread. Creep spread with Zergling Baneling is critical, but the Banelings are starting to get a couple of hits here in the main battle. The Zerglings almost got a nice round, but it wasn't a nice battle overall. There's a lot more units for Nerchio on the field. Looking at the workers tab, Nerchio has a lot more workers than Polt. He also has pretty much more expansions. He's already on 5, while Polt's on 3, but still the Banelings are starting to swarm in. It's not a good idea to fight him outside of creep, but it still worked nice. But a lot of the army is already being reinforced really easily, and Thors are on the way for Polt. So he is progressing to the more mech heavy unit style of play because of those Mutalisks and those Zerglings. But the units are still just progressing. Those Widow Mines haven't burrowed yet. He can get those Baneling connect, but a lot more units, and the Banelings did a bit of a damage, not a lot. The Marine split from Polt was indeed spectacular, but a lot more Banelings are morphing in. The Ultralisks are joining the battle. He still can't get this around. He needs to fight. He needs to engage on the creep and manage to get us around with the Zerglings still on creep. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good battle for Nerchio. But still, the Ultralisks are getting one hit or another. He needs the Banelings, though, to get one hit or another. They're the critical units in that army. Even though they're suicidal, they're one heck of a suicidal unit. Now a bit of a damage with some Zerglings here. The planetary fortress that is being made from Polt. His economy seems in tip-top shape with that orbital command energy. And of course, the amount of Marines and Widow Mines from Polt is absolutely astonishing. 69 Marines. Okay, now it is 77 Marines from Polt. That is quite the amount, but looking at the amount of Zerglings, 66. Wow, a lot of the Zerglings are dying here from the kills. But he's engaging from multiple sides. 3 sides at the one, the triple prong assault, but it actually didn't work. They engaged in different times. The Widow Mine just cleaned up all of the Zerglings immediately. The battle just didn't work for Nerchio. It was just a bad engagement, and GG, well, it wasn't quite the G, it was more of a congratulations that Nerchio gives from Polt from that nice engagement. And just, it was a bit of the off timing from Nerchio, and those Widow Mines just cleaned up those Zerglings just instantly, leaving the Ultralisks to just die without any support from the little units. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.